drink makes you feel less depressed, less anxious, or help you to wind down tension at the end of a long day? I hope this webinar, which we are conducting today, will answer all your questions. A very good morning to all the viewers of this International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. Today, through this platform, we are sharing our perception about drug use, role of counseling, the focused blend of spirituality for treating such clients. Through this platform, we want to let the world know about the work done in the area of de-addiction and rehabilitation starting from year 2004 till today by the Kalgidhar Trust, lessons thereof and the road ahead. Now, moving ahead, I consider it a deemed privilege to introduce you all with our first speaker of this webinar, Dr. Colonel Rajendra Singh, MD, Consultant Psychiatrist, Director, Akal Psychiatric Services, Akal De-Addiction Centers, Chimba Sahib Sangrur and Baru Sahib, Himachal Pradesh. Dr. Colonel Rajendra Singh ji, volunteering since year 2000. He was former senior advisor to Indian Armed Forces. He is 86 years young with phenomenal energy, saving lives under the divine guidance and patronage of Honorable Baba Iqbal Singh ji. Sir will be sharing his insight with all of us on Tryst with de-addiction. I request Dr. Colonel Rajendra Singh ji to please join our panel.
It's a great day for us that we are celebrating world's largest webinar on International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. Vaheguru ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki Fateh. Honorable Baba Iqbal Singh ji, President Kalgidhar Trust, Chancellor, Eternal University and Akal University. It was a red letter day in 1986 when he started Akal Academy in 1986 at Baru Sahib with 5 students. Honorable Babaji and his dedicated team of volunteers, teachers ushered in a revolution in rural education of the northern India. Childhood is the most crucial period of life. A child is a malleable and can be molded into any shape with proper guidance. A devastating practice which is observed in the rural area is that the fathers, they offer fondly to their children sips of liquor. This causes havoc in life, and it's a sure proof that the child will become an addict. Adolescence, the most productive period of life, there is an upsurge of energy. There are changes in the body and the hormones. There is an urge psychologically to seek excitement and thrill in this period of life. The immediate gratification of impulses overpowers restrictions clamped by the society and the family. Drug addiction is a chronic, relapsing mental disorder which affect adversely the body, mind and the soul of a person. In addition, the family gets disrupted, the society has to pay heavy price, drugs take heavy toll, and every day more than 30,000 human lives are lost across the globe only because of tobacco and liquor. North India is a region of the country which was proud of its culture and heritage. It was a sacred land of gurus, rishis, muni. known as land of plenty, the food bowl of the country, and it had amongst the highest per capita income in the country. It was a land of brave people and courageous soldiers. This picture, this is a symbolic representation of their courage and valor. When Alexander the Great, he wrote to his mother confronting great resistance when he invaded India. He wrote that I am involved in the land of lion-like and brave people, where every foot of the ground is like a wall of steel confronting my soldier. This was the valor we had. And now what has happened? North India, Punjab has the highest per capita consumption of liquor. There is a drop in economic status and increased crime rate. Harsh reality is that the drugs associated with increased crime, murders, thefts, smuggling, sexual offences and road accidents. Tobacco related diseases kill 8 million people worldwide every year, and 1 million is contributed by our country. 10 crore people are estimated to have fallen prey to tobacco related diseases in the 20th century. It is estimated that during the 21st century, 100 crore people will die globally of this malady. 30 lakh people die due to alcohol related diseases every year in the world. Around 3 lakh people are addicted to opiates in Punjab. The geographical disadvantage in the North India, which is sandwiched between the two golden triangles, golden crescent on the west and golden triangle on the east, causing trafficking, illicit trafficking, which is a profitable business. In addition, we have to face narcotic terrorism by our neighboring country. Seeing this plight, one day Babaji called me and expressed his deep concern and pain about the drugs ruining the youth of this region. He said, the Akal academies have been established to impart value-based education and strengthen the moral fiber of the youth, so that they refrain from such indulgence, and while treating these afflicted individuals is our priority now. He exhorted me to start this humble work. With his blessings, I started treatment measures in Gurdwara at Chima in district Sangrur, which has now blossomed into 30-bed hospital, the largest licensed center in Punjab, located in the rural area and managed by an NGO. We have till now benefited more than 8,000 families. When Honorable Babaji asked me to incorporate spirituality, so we did an experiment right in the initial stages. We had taken 2 samples of about 70 patients each, in each the control group and the experimental group, where we blended traditional treatment with the spiritual component, and we found that there was evidence that a blended group showed better outcome in the way that the withdrawal symptoms, they abated earlier, many of the withdrawal symptoms, and we followed up for 1 year, and we found that the abstinence was also different in two groups. So we found evidence of spirituality being an important component in the management of drug addiction. It played also a role in preventing these affliction. Thereafter, we followed the holistic approach, which consists of the conventional treatment, blending the same with the spiritual component. We follow there in the centers a structured schedule of prayers where there is daily recitation of scriptures, spiritual discourses, and meditation. An impact study was conducted 2 years back in 2018, and we found that the result of the blended treatment, abstinence rate is 61%, and relapse rate was 32%, partially relapsed 7%. The ways to tackle this menace is by three measures. First is to treat the patients suffering from drug addiction by admitting them in the drug de-addiction wards. Drug de-addiction is a very costly affair. There is scarcity of medical staff, especially in the rural areas. There is almost non-availability of the psychiatrist, and relapse rate is quite high in these cases who are established cases of addiction. So we have uncertain outcome, and the de-addiction alone, drug de-addiction alone, cannot solve this problem. This is our observation. The other way is to restrict the supply of the region. Effective implementation of NDPS Act and strict legal action against those who are traffickers. Drug mafia is a gang of criminals which has to be dealt with various measures, politically and judicially. This third method is to prevent the drug addiction in the early stages. This is prevention is better than cure, the old adage. I think it holds true even today. We create awareness and education, imparting blend of spiritual and conventional education and take into consideration the role of parents and the educators. The awareness programs have been conducted by the Akal de-addiction centers and the students of Akal academies. We will take up this subsequently to change the thoughts. We think that if an individual changes his thought, he can change his destiny. Let us get inspiration from our philosophers, the thinkers and reformers. Buddha said, "We are what we think," a great saying which has been subsequently proved by many philosophers. We change our behavior, the thinking affects even the cells of the body, the conduct, and the outcome of various adversities are changed by the thoughts. The philosophers go to this extent that you are not the victim of heredity, but the master of the body, the biology and genetics. If we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Power of thoughts is also illustrated by other statements. Our beliefs, attitude, and they control our behavior and regulate even the gene expression. Dr. Van Dyer said, begin to see yourself as a soul with a body rather than a body with soul. We are not human beings in search of spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings immersed in human experience. A holy rhyme enshrined in Guru Granth Sahib, quote, मन तू जो स्वरूप है अपना मूल पहचान, मन हरजी तेरे नाल है गुरमती रंग मान. O my mind, you are the embodiment of the divine light. Recognize your own worth and origin. Oh my dear Lord is with you. Through Guru's teaching, enjoy his love. Recent studies confirm the power of thoughts, how the thoughts can change even the organic, they can bring about organic changes. We have observed that during an experiment which was conducted in MIT, America, that when human beings are in deep meditation and feeling of blessedness, gamma waves 40 hertz per second are observed, especially in the hippocampus area of the brain, and they can change the amyloid plaques. They experimentally, it has been proved by them. Our objective here is that we shape the mind of the learners through mental strength. The hallmark of our treatment is a blend of traditional treatment with spiritual component. Main objective is to improve the self-worth, self-esteem, and kindle in them a desire to lead a productive life. The clarion call I humbly make for the youth and their parents and the educators, that they should instill moral and ethical values right in the childhood. They will go a long way, this being the most crucial period of one's life. To the medical and the health fraternity, my humble suggestion is, notwithstanding a breakthrough in the medical science, treatment at de-addiction centers alone cannot solve this menace. We have to take measures, other measures, and we have seen in these centers that prevention is one of the most effective measures. Lastly, education, we follow Vidya Vichari Ta Par Upkari. This is the principle being followed in all the areas, the institutions working, especially educational areas, university, schools and colleges. Nelson Mandela said, education, the most important weapon we can use to change the world. So we are using education as well as value-based education to tackle the problem and to prevent the problem. This is the my message, and I conclude this session. Thank you very much. वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह.
Good morning everyone. Today I am here to discuss with you all the effects of alcohol and drugs in children and family. Alcohol and drug abuse can cause serious harm to the person who is taking these substances, but the person forgets about the negative consequences of drug abuse on children and the family. The drug user always put their addiction first and their families in second. When a child in his early years of life sees his parents suffering from addiction, it can cause a long-lasting bad effect on the child's mind. The children of drug addicts feel neglected, anxious. They are physically and mentally abused. Sometimes the abuse, it can be sexual. These children are at a high risk of having substance use disorder in adulthood, and this is evidenced by various research studies. The child can feel emotional turmoil by physically and emotionally neglected. The children of drug abusers physically and emotionally feel neglected. The children of drug users can have no or less attachment to their parents who is a drug user, and their relationship with the parents who is become very bitter for whole of their lives. The child can feel unsafe, unprotected, and can develop the feelings of guilt and vulnerability. The drug user puts all his family members and children on the back burner. The drug peddlers are selling drugs to gain profit, to earn money. They are not giving happiness to neither the child nor the family. The children need to understand this. By taking drugs, they are risking their lives and causing disruption in the family environment. The drugs can have devastating effects on them. They are pushing their present and future in the dark. That was all about my topic. I am a nurse educator. So today I am presenting you one of my students, Jasmanpreet Kaur. She will talk about how assertiveness therapy is used in preventing addiction in children. Thank you.
A very good morning to all the pretty faces present here. Today I am going to talk about a very crucial part of this session, that is how to say no to drugs. The younger generation should know how to say no when someone is forcing them to take drugs. They should know how to avoid pressure and difficult situation. How can we do this? They can do this by knowing what is assertiveness. Practice assertiveness. What does this mean? Assertiveness means to politely decline the offer by saying that it's not my cup of tea, or you can come up with many more excuses. If nothing else works, you can simply be assertive and just say no to drugs. When your classmates or your peers tell you to take drugs, you, without giving it any second thought, should say no. When your friends pressurize you to take drugs, you should tell them that the bond of friendship is between you and them. It's not between drugs and you. It is not necessary that for being friends you have to practice the same things. If you are upset, don't let yourself fall in this dark trap. Remember, you have to say no. No matter what the situation is, what the condition is, or what your mood is. Just remember your family whose faces lit up with your innocent smiles. Now, I would like to tell you about the 3 Ds which will help you to stay away from drugs. These 3 Ds are being decisive, being disciplined, and being determined. Bring them into your life and you will be safe from drugs. If you feel low or vulnerable, you can talk to your teachers, your counselors, or the person you trust the most. But never ever fall into this trap of drugs. At the end, I would like to conclude by saying that, my dear friends, save your and your loved one's life by saying no to drugs. Today, I am feeling very proud being a part of World Conscience, UN and UK Book of Records. Thank you. Now, I would like to hand upon to next speaker, Ms. Jasleen Kaur, to continue the session.
Thank you, Jasmine. Good morning, everyone. I feel privileged to be a part of this seminar today. So, the topic which I would be covering today is the contribution of Akal Academies in spreading awareness about drugs. They've been doing this active imbibing and practicing of value-based education with everyday meditation and mindfulness in the ambrosial hours. I am an ex-student and now at present a counselor, so yes, this is truth that we go through this very deep practice of meditation and mindfulness every day. So many of you might have a question that it is religious. So I would like to say that no, that there is a difference between being religious and spiritual. Being religious does not necessarily mean being spiritual and vice versa. Spirituality actually means rendering to a power which is greatest and supreme of all. It kinds of gives up support to one's mind that there is someone great to look at me, take care of me. I am not alone in this world and this greater power can solve all my problems. It also involves being a part of practices which enhances our well-being and mindfulness. Only and only when we become totally aware of ourselves, we can choose wisely. We should know what we are feeling at the moment, what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses. It is a sad scenario that in present times we've started evaluating everything with respect to rigid scientific principles. But we tend to forget that there are things which have been happening since the beginning of this life which are yet not explained by science and are unlikely to be. Many of you might even disagree with what I have said, but present psychiatry and spirituality have been combined and the researchers have shown miraculous results. I would want to say that this is a very precious life which has been bestowed on us, and that just for a momentary pleasure we often tend to forget what is our worth and engage in unlike bad habits of taking drugs. Why don't we just give time to ourselves and see our worth? I am sure if we get this, we have conquered the world without being deviated. Now I would like to share the student-led initiatives of Akal Academies for creating drug awareness. First, a marathon race against drugs which was organized on 26 November 2017 at Sukhna Lake, Chandigarh, which was flagged off by Sardar Milkha Singh Ji, the Flying Sikh. 15,000 students across Akal Academies had organized a 2-kilometer walkathon titled Race Against Drugs on 18th December 2017. Second marathon race against drugs was organized on 11th November 2018 at Sukhna Lake, Chandigarh, which was flagged off by Bibi Man Kaur Ji, the world's fastest sprinter. Another initiatives which have been taken are Chup, a 40 minutes in-house production of Akal De-Addiction Center, which is a documentary based on breaking your silence. It has 19 lakh viewers on YouTube. I would just like to share a small glimpse of it.
हेलो हाँ जी भाजी नहीं नहीं पैसे ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏ ਪਰ ਹਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਗਹਿਣੇ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਹਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਭਾਈ ਤੇਰਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਾਓ ਬਸ
ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਟੂਮਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਟੂਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੇ
ਅੱਜ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰਾ ਰਾਹ ਨਾ ਰੋਕ
ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਟੂਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਬਖਾ ਤਾਂ ਸਹੀ
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਗੱਲ ਜਾਣ ਦੇ ਮਰ ਜਾਣਾ ਮੈਂ
ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਬੀਬੀ ਨੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਕਾਹਦੇ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਪਏ ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈ ਜਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਲੈ ਜਾ
ਅੱਜ ਉਹ ਨਸ਼ੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਗਹਿਣੇ ਵੇਚ ਸਕਦਾ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਧੀ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਬਣੂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਸ਼ੇ ਲਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਊ ਬਸ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਚੁੱਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿ ਸਕਦੀ
ਆਂਟੀਏ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਨਾ ਕੁਛ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਊ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਸ਼ੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੁੱਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ ਚੁੱਪ
हूँ और सबका स्वागत करता हूँ। हमारे समाज में नशों का प्रकोप बढ़ता जा रहा है। नशों से उत्पन्न समस्या विकट होती जा रही है। इसमें नशेड़ों को इलाज हेतु हमारे पास पूरे साधन नहीं है और हमें क्या कुछ इनकी हेल्प करने के लिए करना है, आप क्या कर सकते हो, काउंसलर क्या कर सकता है, इस विषय में इस महत्वपूर्ण दिन में हम चर्चा करेंगे। सबसे पहले तो हम ये जानें कि ये नशा जो है आजकल बच्चों में ज़्यादा बढ़ता जा रहा है। टीन एजर्स इसका ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सेवन कर रहे हैं और आश्चर्य की बात यह है कि 10 से 20 साल के बच्चे भी इसमें सम्मिलित हो रहे हैं और वो ज़्यादा उनकी तादाद बढ़ती जा रही है। इसके कारण अनेक होते हैं और ये नशा लेने के कारण इनमें परिवर्तन आते हैं। ये परिवर्तन इनके व्यवहार को नकारात्मक करते हैं और ये व्यवहार इतने नकारात्मक होते हैं कि इनके जीवन को नुकसान करने लगते हैं, परिवार के जीवन को नुकसान करने लगते हैं। ये बच्चे कुछ एक लक्षण दिखाते हैं और ये अर्ली इनके लक्षण जो है इस प्रकार हैं। वो क्लासेस स्किप करते हैं, लेट आते हैं और बच्चों में ज़्यादा बाहर रहते हैं। वो आर्गुमेंटेटिव, क्रोधित हो जाते हैं, अधिक सोते हैं या वो अपने समायोजन में कठिनाई दर्शाते हैं। वो अपने माता पिता को इसके बारे में नहीं बताते हैं और ना ही वो कोशिश करते हैं कि उनकी समस्याओं का समाधान के लिए वो अपने साधनों का ठीक रूप से प्रयोग करें। इस तरह से पेरेंट्स को बहुत लेट पता चलता है और अब्यूज़र जो हैं, नशा लेने वाले जो बच्चे हैं, वो नशे को मंजूर नहीं करते हैं कि उन्हें नशे की प्रॉब्लम है और वो ऐसी मुसीबत में फंसे हैं, ऐसी जाल में फंसे हैं जिससे वो निकल नहीं पाते हैं। कोशिश वो करते हैं लेकिन नहीं निकल पाते हैं। तो उन्हें क्या ज़रूरत है? ज़रूरत उन्हें सहायता देने की है, उन्हें रिस्पेक्ट देने की है, उन्हें सपोर्ट देने की है। और जबकि हमारा समाज उन्हें नकारता है, उन्हें रिजेक्ट करता है और जिससे उनके नशा लेने की प्रवृत्ति और बढ़ जाती है। उनके नशे लेने से उनके जीवन और उनके परिवार के को काफ़ी नुकसान होता है और इस तरह से पेरेंट्स को चाहिए कि वो इस एज में सतर्क रहें, विजिलेंट रहें, बच्चे की हर हरकत पे नज़र रखें और कोशिश करें कि वो प्रोटेक्टिव और सपोर्टिव वातावरण दें। उन्हें सिंपथी दिखाएं और उन्हें ग्रोथ की तरफ या डेवलपमेंट की तरफ ले जाएं। काउंसलर कौन होता है, काउंसलर क्या करता है, इसके विषय में थोड़ा जानें। काउंसलर ट्रेंड क्वालिफाइड प्रोफेशनल होता है जो बच्चे की समस्याओं को ध्यानपूर्वक सुनता है, बच्चों की समस्या का विश्लेषण करता है, उसके बारे में प्लान बनाता है और ये सारे जो इन्फॉर्मेशन वो बच्चे से लेता है उसे सीक्रेट रखता है, उसे कॉन्फिडेंशियल रखता है। आपको हैरानी होगी कि 93% ऑफ द स्कूल्स भारतवर्ष में काउंसलर के से वंचित हैं, यानी कि उनमें काउंसलर्स हैं ही नहीं, क्योंकि हमारे पास काउंसलर्स नहीं हैं, ट्रेंड काउंसलर्स नहीं हैं और इसलिए ये दायित्व टीचर्स को निभाना है क्योंकि उन्हें बच्चों की समस्याओं का हल करना है और ये बहुत ज़रूरी है। काउंसलर इंडिविजुअल काउंसलिंग में सिंपैथेटिक रिलेशनशिप बनाता है, बच्चे के साथ एकाकी रूप में अलग से चिंतन करता है, उसके सारे ड्रग रिलेटेड इश्यूज़ पे ध्यान देता है, उसमें से देखता है कि कौन इश्यूज़ महत्वपूर्ण हैं, कौन रिस्क फैक्टर हैं और बच्चे को डेंजर्स के बारे में सेंसिटाइज करता है, प्लान बनाता है कि कौन से व्यवहार, कौन से स्किल्स, कौन से उसके थॉट्स जो हैं वो चेंज करने के हैं और उनके बारे में कोई कंक्रीट स्टेप लिए जाएं। ग्रुप काउंसलिंग में बच्चों का एक ग्रुप बनाया जाता है। जो बच्चे नशा करते हैं वो आपस में अपनी फीलिंग्स को, अपने थॉट्स को, अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस को शेयर करते हैं और वो एक दूसरे की सपोर्ट भी लेते हैं, एक दूसरे से रिस्पेक्ट और डिग्निटी भी के आभास होता है उन्हें और वो अपने फॉल्टी पैटर्न्स को ठीक करने लगते हैं। फैमिली काउंसलिंग में बहुत से इश्यूज डिस्कस किए जाते हैं। पेरेंट्स को उनके रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के बारे में एहसास कराया जाता है और पेरेंट्स को इस बात के लिए प्रेरित किया जाता है कि वो सपोर्टिव एनवायरनमेंट दें, बच्चों के हर समस्या को ध्यान से सुनें, उनसे शेयर करें और उनकी समस्याओं को सुचारू रूप से हल करें। Counselor or awareness camps by senior psychiatrists and clinical psychologists and other paramedical staff have been organized in the past by our center and the glimpses are as such. So आप यहाँ देखते हैं कि बहुत से कैंप्स हमने लगाए हैं और ये आप देख रहे हैं। नेक्स्ट में भी आप देखिए हमारे नर्सिंग कॉलेज के स्टूडेंट्स किस तरह से रैली निकालते हैं। ये हर साल हम ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं। यहाँ यदि आप देखें तो हमने टोटल कैंप्स 103 लगाए हैं और इसमें पेशेंट्स और फॉलोअप पेशेंट्स और न्यू पेशेंट्स का डाटा दिया गया है। नाउ आई क्लोज माय टॉक विद दिस स्टेटमेंट, हेल्प वन एडिक्ट एट ए टाइम टू कम आउट ऑफ एडिक्शन। स्टार्ट इट टुडे विदाउट डिले ऑन दिस वेरी स्पेशल डे एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच। Now I call upon Miss Sachpreet Kaur, who is a assistant professor in Akal College of Public Health, to come and continue the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to present the survivors of drug menace to share their confessions. Here we have two survivors with us. One is from Canada and another one is from New York. So here we go.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My experience with addiction, I have seen rich people enjoying being addicted to marijuana, always drinking alcohol. My schoolmates who were indulged in drinking and smoking were performing well in school. So I felt this peer pressure of not using drugs and not being considered that high class of mad people. I became antisocial in fear of not being as popular as my classmates. This gave me a kick to move on to a path of addiction when I started my journey in university. My addiction started from drinking alcohol in first year to using marijuana by the end. I have been in rehab centers in Canada and after that I came to Baru Sahib. This place has its own serenity of nature, its own graciousness, the kind of people around, the spiritual environment which was lacking in Canada. The empathetic attitude of medical staff, and most emphasized is the blend of spiritual and religious component of the treatment. This has awakened an anchor within me, and now I feel more determined wholeheartedly. I would like to thank Baru Sahib for this change. If I can do this, why can't you? Thank you. Thank you.
Greetings to everybody. I was an addict. While I was an addict, I considered myself as a degenerate or a bad person. But I no longer feel this way. I have a disease called addiction. We can take care of this disease or it can kill us. I moved to Manhattan in the United States in 1999 when I was just 16 years old. I started hanging out with college students at a very early age in my life, so drinking intake had already skyrocketed. I experimented with MDMA, cocaine, binge drinking and marijuana at a very, very early age while I was still in high school. The first week of semester of college, I woke up with IV fluids in my arms. That was my first blackout. And even after that, being hospitalized did not really scare me enough. I became a heavy drinker in college, parties and clubs. In this serious moment, I would like to actually share with you all a very small little story. When I first came to Babu Sahib, I found out that I was going to be put into rehabilitation. I was told at home that I was actually going to Shimla, but I was duped into bringing me to over here. I thought that they were putting me in a jail when I was first brought in. It was later on, after these few weeks, that I realized that I was already in jail and they were the ones who were taking me out of the jail. I would now, and thank you so very much, I would now like to call Dr. Davinder Singh to conclude the session. Dr. Davinder Singh.
Dear viewers, I will not summarize succinctly the takeaways from this webinar. The first and foremost takeaway is that we all must realize the magnitude of the huge problem that we are facing. Any problem, कोई भी समस्या जिसदे कारण दुनिया विच हर साल 1.25 करोड़ व्यक्ति मर रहे हैं केवल तंबाकू और अल्कोहल दे नाल, लाजमी है कि वो प्रॉब्लम बहुत ज़्यादा सीरियस है तो उसनूं सानू एड्रैस करना पड़ेगा. दिस इज़ द फर्स्ट टेक अवे दैट द प्रॉब्लम इज़ वेरी ह्यूज एंड वेरी सीरियस. इट इज़ गोइंग टू डिस्ट्रॉय generations. Now, even in Punjab, we find that as of today, I am not alluding to alcohol or tobacco, we have 3 lakh people addicted to just opiates. You can imagine the seriousness. Now, what is the solution? Having worked on this problem for 16 long years, managing a center, we have come to one conclusion, that establishing detox and rehab centers or de-addiction center is not the solution. It is too expensive, too time consuming. 16 सालां विच असी केवल 8000 मरीज दा इलाज कर पाए हाँ. फिर सवाल आंदा है कि इस समस्या दा सॉल्यूशन की है. Well, we have 3 solutions. The first is prevention. The second solution also is prevention, and I'm afraid the third solution also comes out to be prevention only. इस बीमारी तो दूर रहने वास्ते इक्को ही तरीका है कि असी अपने बच्चे संभाल लईए. What are the steps involved now? The first step is to identify the vulnerable children. उन बच्चों को आइडेंटिफाई करना है ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨਸ਼ੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਨ. ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰਾਂ ਚੋਂ ਹਨ? ਪਹਿਲਾ, from broken families. Second, where we have domestic violence. And third, where substances are already being abused in the family by elders. Next issue is, who will identify such children? We all have to take up this cause. Since the problem is huge, we all have to address it. But the main share of this comes on educators, on teachers, right from the kindergarten to the PhD. पर सब तो ज़्यादा रोल इस विच छोटे बच्चों के टीचर्स का है, क्योंकि जड़ा भी माइंड के फॉर्मेटिव ईयर्स हैं वो छोटे होंदे हैं. 3 साल तो 6 साल की उम्र विच बच्चे दे माइंड के पैटर्नस बन जाते हैं. सो केजी टीचर्स का इस विच बहुत ज़्यादा अहम रोल है. असी जद भी देखिए कि साडा कोई बच्चा उदास है, चुप रह रहा है, स्कूल नहीं आ रहा, ही इज़ थ्रोइंग टेंट्रम्स, ही इज़ अनकेप्ट, अनरूली, एग्रेसिव, फाइटिंग विद अदर्स, ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਈਡੈਂਟੀਫਾਈ ਕਰ ਲੈਣੇ ਹਨ. ਔਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ. ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ, ਕੰਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਨਾਲ, ਕਾਉਂਸਲਿੰਗ ਨਾਲ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਤਨੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਏ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਾਏ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਜੋ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖ ਰਿਹਾ. ਇਹ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਆਈਡੈਂਟੀਫਾਈ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ. दूसरा तरीका की है, स्टेप 2 is teaching values and spirituality to children. This is what the Akal Academies have been doing for the last 30 years, and this, I'm afraid, is the long lasting solution. We have seen it by example, by doing it and going through it. May I take this opportunity to give a clarion call to all governments of the world to incorporate teaching of values and spirituality in all education institutions right from the early years. This is the need of the hour, and this is the parting message which we would like to give you all. I thank you all the 35,000 or 40,000 members who participated in today's webinar, and let's all resolve that we'll make this world drug free for the generations to come. We conclude today's seminar by some memorable divine pearls from Honorable Baba Iqbal Singh Ji. Thank you very much, please.
ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਂ ਦਰਿਆ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਬਣਿਆ ਸੀ। ਅੱਜ 6ਵਾਂ ਦਰਿਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਚੱਲ ਪਿਆ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਸ਼ਿਆਂ ਦਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਰੇ ਤਬਾਹ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਬੁੱਢੇ ਤੱਕ ਸਾਰੇ। ਇਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ? ਜਸਟ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ, ਇੱਕ ਡੀ ਐਡਿਕਸ਼ਨ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਖੋਲ੍ਹਿਆ ਚੀਵਾਂ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ ਲਗਭਗ 4000 ਮਰੀਜ਼ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਠੀਕ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ। ਉਹਦਾ ਟੈਕਨੀਕ ਕੀ ਆ? ਡਰੱਗ ਤੇ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਦਵਾਈਆਂ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਮਗਰ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾਮ ਬਾਣੀ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰਵਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਸਵੇਰੇ ਵੀ ਉਠਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸਪਿਰਚੁਅਲ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ ਉਹਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ, ਰੂਹਾਨੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰੀਏ। ਇਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਬੜਾ ਨਵਾਂ ਟੈਕਨੀਕ ਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਡਰੱਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਪਿਰਚੁਅਲਿਟੀ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਮਾਨੈਂਟਲੀ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਨੇਕ ਅੱਛੇ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆਦਮੀ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਮੋਟੀਵੇਟ ਜਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਛੱਡੋ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ। ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਭਾਵ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਡਰੱਗਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਵੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੂਹਾਨੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਵੀ, ਪਾਠ ਵੀ ਅਗਰ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਡਰ ਭੈ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਨ ਸਾਫ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਔਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਦੂਸਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਪਰਉਪਕਾਰ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸਾਡਾ ਤਜਰਬਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਚੀਮੇ ਜੋ ਡੀ ਐਡਿਕਸ਼ਨ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਲਗਭਗ 4000 ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਟ੍ਰੀਟ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਨਾਮ ਬਾਣੀ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਦੂਸਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਮੋਟੀਵੇਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਡਰੱਗ ਤੋਂ ਛੁਡਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਸ਼ਰਾਬਾਂ ਤੋਂ। ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਮੇਰਾ ਇਹ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਮੁਹਿੰਮ ਚਲਾਈਏ ਔਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾਈਏ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ।